Okay, we are live on Twitch and on YouTube. Alright. Hi everyone, this is GeoWill from Productions², and this morning we're going to do a little bit of streaming here for Odyssian Void. Mainly because I have finished creating the notification system, and I want to show you how I did it, and show you the steps to create a basic well, it's not. It's so like in a game, usually in online games where they have like the chat window, and in the chat window you also get the messages about like your damage, items you pick up, experience you get, that kind of stuff. That's kind of what I'm talking about. I've made something similar to that, that you'll be able to see information from. I thought that'd be better to do than having like that one box up at the top for like the database and then like stuff everywhere else for testing and whatnot. So first I guess I can show you what I have. What I've made, and then I can and then I'll show you how I made it, or how to make it, because I made it in the sandbox project, so we'll have to remake it in the mining tech demo. So first, I guess I'll show you what it is, what it looks like, and then I will show you the components for it, and then we'll go ahead and remake it in Odyssian Void, the tech demo, mining tech demo. So basically where it is down here, the panel is just not, the background of the panel is transparent. So actually what we'll do is we'll make one little change here. I don't want it to be transparent anymore. I want to see the background on a bit, if I can. Well, you might not be able to, actually. There's gotta be a way to do that. Maybe we want the intersection. Oh, we're on the wrong one, that's why. But this is probably also. Okay. Well, let's do this real quick, because it could be useful to have. So UE4 vertical box, background color. Wrap it with a border. Well, we'll figure that out later. That'll be something we'll do once we get into. That's going to take a little bit longer than I thought it would. I was hoping it wouldn't be such a long process. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and we'll go ahead and reopen this or rerun this, and I'll show you, tell you what the functionality is. So this, what this allows is you send it messages, it displays them. After the third message, old messages will become transparent. And then after 5 messages, they start getting removed. So this scroll box will never, at least right now. So in another version, it might be they just get hidden, so they don't cause the scroll box to scroll. It's also possible that I may implement some other kind of system that allows you to see the older messages, so I might not remove them anymore. Right now they get removed though. So every 100 ticks, I am printing out this message. I probably should add something so that it actually Doesn't say 100 ticks, but we can do something with that real quick when we put it into the mine tick demo. So how I did this, and it's kind of interesting because there's actually two ways to achieve some of this functionality. But so the first thing is I created this notification widget. All it is basically just a text box. With a few things on it. So the background color is transparent, and I changed the text size to 18. That's basically it. That's all it is. It's pretty simple. There are a few functions though that I added, or I guess one. So we have this end message variable that stores the message, and then we have and that's bound to the text box text field, and then we have set message to actually set the message when we add it. So that's a pretty simple thing. So the widget, the UI widget, the main one, that's a little bit different. So we have this vertical box in here that I have called nothing because it's not going to be used as a variable. Inside of it, actually, and then I set hitbox test invisible. So right now you can't really interact with it, or at least not with the vertical box, which is what we want. If we want to do anything, we want to just mess around with the scroll box only. But I'm not sure if setting the parent object causes the child object to also not be clickable or interactable. So that's something I'll have to check. Inside of that is our notification list, which is a scroll box, and that is a variable. You want to set the orientation to vertical so that you have it adding things vertically. You can change it to horizontal though. And that's really all I changed on the settings, I think. Alignments, horizontal and vertical fill. Otherwise it'll look kind of weird because the vertical box will crush, well actually it's the scroll box will crush down and you won't see, there's, I don't know what it is, but like you can see the borders and they're crushed down or something. But it just looks better when you do the vertical and horizontal fill. So on the other side of this, we have a crap ton of stuff. So first of all, we have this on event construct. Obviously, this is the normal. This is a reason to cast things, and then I added this a little bit to the end here, and this is part of the getting this thing to show reversed. So what you have to do is you have to use a widget transformation. And it sets the angle to 180. And what this will do is it'll turn the vertical box upside down. Now you also have to do this on the notification or whatever using widgets that will be put into this, because they also need to be turned upside down, otherwise they'll be printed upside down. So it'll still be printed correctly, it's just upside down. Well, actually no. Upside down, and it'll go the reverse way of the way we want it to. So that's a nice hack for this that I found after doing some digging. I think that's the only thing I really changed for the event graph. We do have a couple of functions and variables that added. So we have the notification list in here as the variable. We have a notification box children and reversed notification box children. Now these are both related to one method of doing this. There's another method that actually may be an instance where the blueprint is more efficient than the code. Let's put it that way. Or at least, maybe not, because the way I did the blueprint for the version that uses these is kind of weird. So there might be a better way to do it. And then we have some other things here. So max notifications. This lets you set the maximum notifications that will be fully opaque and not transparent. Once you get over this or equal this, they start becoming transparent. Remove note at sets the index at which we start removing notes from the notification box. And then array length is used to store the length of the array. So what I found is that if you try to take a length from an array and jam it directly into like a for loop or something, it doesn't work. It's always 0. For whatever reason, you have to go into an int variable first, and then the variable can be used properly. Because it'll actually get a value then. But if you just try and throw it right into a for loop, or something else that uses an index number or value, it doesn't work at all. I think it's a bug, to be honest. You shouldn't have to store it as a variable for it to display correctly. So what we do then is on add notification, we are transforming the widget, same way we did the notification box. Setting the render transform on the target, and we're calling or bringing up this notification box children. We're adding that to it. Then we're calling update notification box. So this is where things get kind of interesting. So there are 2 methods, as I mentioned, that we can use to do this. One is we can use code, and the code is really simple. All you have to do is you have to pass through a T array of user widgets, and then you have to take that array and reverse it. And that's very simple. There's a function in the algorithm header standard library that allows you to do that. That's called reverse. So all you have to do is just, if I can find the proper place it's at. Notice over here. So std reverse begin end. And that's all you have to do. It'll essentially take this array that you have. It will flip it and resave it over the existing array. These are just here for testing, so I can actually get rid of these. I was originally going to do a bubble sort, and then I ran into issues with that. Not really a bubble sort, but something similar to a bubble sort, where we have a for loop and a nested for loop, and we're iterating over both and moving elements around. But then when I started doing that, I realized, okay, I need to have some sort of index to track which is first and which is last. I can't just start moving things around, because in a bubble sort, when you move things around, obviously the indexes change, and you have to account for that somehow. So I knew about this. I knew there was something like this, but I couldn't remember exactly what the where it was or what it was called. So I had to go do a little bit of researching and found it. So this is one way to do it. So it passes in the user widget array. We don't even need this reversed array anymore. Then we just call reverse on it, and we return it, and you're done. And that's what we're using right now. That when we were running it, that's what we're using, I believe. Let me go ahead and rebuild this. Yes, the other way is to actually use a reversed for loop, and this is the way that's easier in terms of like using less blueprint nodes. So all you do is just call the bring in a get on the array that you have set up to store your notification items, throw it into a reversed for each loop, and then just add the elements like you normally would. And I will show you how that works. So all you have to do is just this. And if I run this now, it should do the exact same thing. Okay. One thing that I forgot to do. Has to go to get children, and then this has to go to here. Or clear children, rather. Make sure that this one is that one. I also did a bit of cleanup on the blueprint. This used to be a lot messier. I went through and actually tried to clean this up a bit, so this actually looks better than it did when I started. It was all over the place, really. Actually, I was surprised how good this turned out looking once I got things moved around. Alright, let's try this again. This was working last night. I'm not sure why it's not working now. Okay, what else did I need to do? Should have been a matter of turning that... Oh, duh. That's the problem there. Keep forgetting you can only have one content pin going into that. Okay, there we go. So exact same functionality, just using way less blueprint nodes. Okay, not exactly. It's oh no, yeah. Because so here's the other thing though. Since we're using this one, we're using the reverse notification box children because we were reversing it. So if you take this and you pass it through and then you use this to store it as well, what'll happen is that you'll end up getting some elements you'll get elements in the incorrect order because you're basically reversing it, adding something, then reversing it again, and basically returning it to the previous order. And when you do that, some things get knocked out of sync. So what we have to do is in our fade out, we need to change this to our notification box children instead of reversed. I believe those are the only two. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Alright, so once we get done with the update notification, we call this fade out notification. Actually, it should be called something else because it doesn't doesn't only do fade outs anymore. But so here's what happens. You go through a for each loop, and either of these, whichever system we're using. And when we do that, we check to see if first we want to see if we can remove the index first. If we can remove it, we want to do that instead of making it transparent, because at this point it'll already be transparent. So if the index is equal to remove node at, we do a condition. If true, we go up to here. We go up to here. Up here, we're checking to make sure that the index, the child at that index is valid, so that notification widget child of the notification list is valid. That way we're not trying to do anything on an invalid child, which would cause issues. Maybe not crashes, but eventually maybe a crash. When I first made the system, it was throwing all kinds of errors in the log window after the system was running because it was trying to do things on null objects. So I was like, okay, we need to make sure we got valid objects first. So if it is a valid object, then and this is true, that means we can remove it. So we remove it, and then we have to remove it from the notification box children array, and then we also have to remove it from the widget. The reason we do it from both is because if we don't, then the other code will just put it back in after we add something new. So we have to make sure we move it from both. Now, if this is false, if we're not at that index yet, we check this index, if max notifications. So this again is what is set to cause it to fade out. We need to rename it to something else to make it more implicative of what it's supposed to be used for. And then if it's less than or equal to, if true, we do another branch to make sure that the object is valid. And then we set the render opacity on that child widget to 0.35. And that's what will create that effect in the notification window. Everything else is pretty much the same. So let's go ahead and re-add this into the tech demo. I'm not going to do this version of the system for now unless I find that it's more efficient than doing the reverse for loop, just because I don't want to have as many nodes on that. Again, there's probably a better way to do this than to have all this craziness. So I'm doing a for loop with a break. Well, yeah, let's see. Why? I don't think we need this. We just need to pass this into our reverse array function, return it to this for loop. Cast it and then add it to reverse children notebook, children box. So I don't think we even need this part. So if we just go to here, this is our input array, rather. Come on. It's already there, okay. This we can break. What are these routing nodes? No, select it so I can delete it. Jeez. So we could do something like this, which still uses the because what I'd like to do is I'd like to use the code whenever possible, because running things in C++ code is much more efficient than running it in the blueprint. That's just the nature of this beast, this beastie, if you will. So actually, this is pretty efficient here. So we're calling the function, we're passing through our array, we're reversing it, returning it. Then we're calling clear on the reverse box notification children array. Then we are for looping this returned array, and then we are casting it from a user widget to a notification widget, and then we are adding it to the array. Then we are calling after. Actually, that's not the right one to do. Break all routes. So now I gotta go through and delete these. That's kind of the annoying thing of using these things. It makes it look good, but after you delete something like that, you have to go back through and fix all the nodes that are like just left dangling there. Actually, I'm gonna do this on complete. So once we've added everything, then we want to call this. Otherwise, we're going to be triggering this every time we are looping this to add it to this reverse notification thing. Alright, so we do that, and then back over here, we need to use this again. Alright, so now we're using specific. No, what's going on? Blueprint is not a notification widget, therefore target can. It's something over here. Oh, we broke the target on that. So we need to bring in notification list. That's why I had it set up that way, because of that. So, okay, so what we'll do is when we go and make this in the mining tech demo, we'll actually make the function instead of being a, instead of tying the notification or no, it is over here. Instead of tying this to the class we create, we'll tie it to the UI instead. I mean the UI widget. And the way to do that is you go to class settings, and you can choose a parent class. So if you create a custom class, you can parent it this way. All right, so let's go ahead and get the tech demo open. So we'll need both this and the SLN as well. Alright, we're building a debug. I'm going to set this to a development game instead. Of course, IntelliSense is going to be doing all kinds of stuff right now, so we will let it do it. Oh, there it is. Alright. So, alright, first thing we need to do is we need to add a new widget here. Called, well, let's do the exact same thing, it's a notification. Open this, and we will create the text box. Well, it's actually just the text node. So 19, actually 16 I think we'll use. And then we want to use a size to content. Check that, and then for the color, I think that's all correct. I think by default the background is transparent on these. Alright, we do need to do a bind this. Let's jump over here. Create a variable. Notification text. I'll set that to a string. Create a function set text. And then I'll have one input, which will be new text. And that'll be a string. And then we'll pull this in, get, or rather not get, set. Compile that, go back out here, and then bind that to the notification text. Go ahead and delete that. Compile. Alright, so that one's done. So let's go to the main HUD. And let's go ahead and remove this. We don't need it anymore. And in fact, because it's gonna, we need the space down there for this. So first thing we need to do is a vertical box. I also want to just put the anchor there on this one. This part's kind of annoying because when you scroll in, it'll reset the camera to a certain location on the screen. So you want to get this as close to the edge as you can, if not directly over it. Alright, this is going to be, call this notification area with the properly sized R. There we go. And I think that's all we need to do. Then we need to put a scroll box into here. And that's going to be our notification box. I'm going to make that a variable. I'll leave those as fill. Vertical, visible, yes. Oh, one thing we need to do on the notification. Okay, doesn't apply to child widgets. Good. That's what we want to use. So yeah, I think that's good for the most part. Alright, now, let's go ahead and compile that. Oh. Yeah. So get inventory. Well, that shouldn't have been an issue. Okay, what did I do? So we deleted that old... We deleted this and somehow that got in box. Why did that cause it to crash? Inbox. So if I try and compile this again. Oh, it's still going to throw an error. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, what the hell happened to this? So that's supposed to be part of the inventory tile. Okay, we'll have to go check that out. Let me redo all the stuff we did. Alright, so we'll just save that for now. Now what's going on with our inventory? Which one would it be? List item or... There it is. Item time. That's there. So what's the issue? It says that the object associated with it could be, maybe it's a hot reload issue. That could be it. So let me close this and we'll reopen it. Well, that's already open. That's not gonna help. We want that. Damn, there it is again. An item. So get inventory array. Just cargo. Cargo is a U item. Oh. So item is there it is. Int tile index. Maybe we need to relink this bit. It happens from time to time. So get well, that's interesting. You can't find it anymore. Alright, Visual Studio, what did you do? Switch back over to Development Editor. And let's do a rebuild. We'll do a rebuild so it'll clean it. Crap. Since the editor's open, it's not going to let me. Let's save. Not going to let me do the cleaning properly. Alright, let's try this again. Damn it. Now because both of them are open, it's going to do the same thing. Damn it. I hate this bug. It's really annoying. Let's close this one too. So if you have any editor open at all, it won't let you do the hot reload or clean the hot reload files. It is definitely a bug. An annoying one. Okay, there we go. Go ahead and make sure we do a fresh, clean build on this. Because this is here, and you should be able to see it. It's blueprint read-writable and visible anywhere, so it shouldn't be an issue of that not being able to see it. Alrighty then. God. Frogs in the throat today. Let's see, reply. Okay, really quick, I need to go do something. Technically, I don't start work till 10, but some people at one of the other locations, I guess, don't know that or whatever. But just really quick, gonna take care of this, and then we'll get back to the stuff the stream is about. So groups. Actually, I need to do that. Start there. Oh, she isn't there anyway. So it must be on their side. Okay, that's fine. I can deal with that later. Okay, so back to this. Alright, so that's done. Let's go and see if that actually worked. Graph. Yeah, that's what it was. We just had to rebuild it. Okay, so now we have gotta kind of reorient myself here. Alright, so we have this. We have the notification box and area that's created. It's a variable now, so that's ready to be used. We need to create some variables in here. Variables. So we need to have so node index, which will be the array index. Let's call it something different though. We need to have a an array. Notification. And that's going to be an array of notification. Oh, I didn't. Did I not compile this? No, I did. I did compile it. So oh, there it is. Maybe I didn't go in far enough with the typing. So that's going to be an array, and we're just going to do a duplicate on this, and we're going to call this reversed, same as before. What else do we need? I believe it's just those, but we'll check the other project just to be sure. Sandbox and yes, project. Okay. So, oh yeah, these two. We need those two as well. Otherwise, yeah, we're pretty good. We're good with that. Notification list. True, we do need to bring that into. So the notification list is the okay, that's the scroll box. Oh, duh. I thought it was like an array for some reason to me for a second. Yeah, so that's already in here. Notification box is down there. So we need to add 3 new integers. So fade out index. Well, yeah, we want to do that, but also an integer. Remove index. And then we also need the node index, which I think we already added. Yeah. Okay, then we need to also do the functions. So update inventory, we need to do update notification box. Update need to do add notification. Need to use the fade out. So we'll actually call this process or notification style. No, because removing isn't a style. Removing is removing. Not as pithy as fade out old notifications or style notifications or something, but it'll work. Now on, let's see, that's the only ones we need. So on add notification, we have to add in an input new note. And that's going to be a notification. Oh, we're on the wrong one, that's why. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a transform. So, render transform. So this goes to the targets, and we'll pull this off to create a new transform. New widget transform, and then on the angle we just put 180. Then we bring in our notification array. It's kind of annoying that you can't. This won't snap to the proper spot on the grid. So that's what it's going to be like off center. There's probably a way to fix that, but. Okay, then once we add it, we want to send it over to update notification. Box. And the target is self, I believe. Yes, self. Okay. Then you don't always. This isn't really necessary to auto return, but just for the sake of making sure we have a return node. All right, so save that. Now over in. So actually, let's go ahead and compile this, and then what we'll do is go to our go to Visual Studio real quick, and we need to create. Well, first of all, we need to create the class in here so it adds it properly. So let's do that real quick. So new class. So since we're not going to use notification, the notification thing this time as the widget we're going to put this function on, we're actually going to create a class and we'll tie it to the UI, so we're going to call it something different as well. So we're going to say main UI. All right. Chronograph videos. So I've got half the recording done, and the other half I'm going to do tonight, and then I'm going to render out everything and upload everything tomorrow. Oh. Yeah, okay, hot reloading failed again. Not surprised. It's really a crapshoot. Okay, so we have our main UI thing down here, which is which has a subclass of user widget. So we need to go down here, public u function blueprint callable. So T array of is a widget pointers, reverse array. And we'll pass through the same array. I also need to include algorithm. And using std reverse. So main UI. Let's go let that go. Some we call reverse on node array. Begin. Oops. And end note array. Then return node array. Actually, we can just do this on 2 lines. Okay, and that's done. All I have to do now is just rebuild this. Alright, and then we should be able to access it once we set up the main HUD class settings. Parent class is main UI, which won't change anything other than that it will have access to any custom functions we create. Since it's a subclass of user widget, it has everything, still has access to everything else. So now, what we need to do is go to update notification. I don't believe we have any passes into this. I think it's just that, and then we access things as we need them. Update notification. Yeah. Alright, so first thing we need to do is we need to bring in our notification array, reverse notification array, and our notification box, and anything else. The kitchen sink, maybe. No, that's it. Alright, so first thing we have to do is we have to call reverse array. So pass in this. Then we need to call clear on reversed notification array. Actually, we could probably line these up. No, we can't. Okay, so it's better to do it that way. And then we need to do a for each loop, and then cast that to a notification, and add it to the notification, reverse notification children box. All right. So oh, yeah, for each loop first. Derp, forgot about that. For each. And then on the cast, alright, then once completed, we need to do a reverse for loop. On notification array. Actually, first, let's pull this over. Still need that, but that's not first. Let's go ahead and break this. First, we need to clear this. I think it's just clear, right? Clear children. Okay, that's a good thing to make sure. Clear children. Now let's move this closer over to here, so we can have some better formatting on this. All right. Actually, technically, we can also move all these up as well. So that's a bit more compact. And we can move this over a little bit too. Okay, so once we do that, we're looping through this. We need to then do a add child and then call fade out, or whatever we called it now. Process existing notifications. So add child. And then this is the content. Then on, no, yeah, we want to do it on each individual one. Well, do we? So we're adding the note, we're adding it in, and then we're calling this, and on the fade out. Okay, no. So yeah, this actually isn't as efficient as it can be. On completed. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to call that. Process. Then we'll do like a return node from there. Okay. So there's that now, more efficiently done. Go ahead and compile that. Now if we go over to our process existing, so we're going to need the reversed index. Right? No. Yes. Yes, reversed. So loop through that, set the, check the index, and check all this stuff. Alright, so reversed, drop that in, get, also going to need the fade out index and the remove index. You're also going to need notification list. So, notification box. Yeah. Okay. Whoops. That was supposed to be a get. Alright. So first thing we have to do is a for each loop. So I'm going to try and make this as compact as possible. This takes up less space. Okay. So then we want to do a check if true. I'm going to check the element and make sure that it's valid. No, that's not what. Get child out then is valid. Whoops. Okay, here's a notification box. So then another branch. So then if true, I think we just call the remove then. From both, yeah. So remove index, and then also remove child index. Well, that wasn't the right one. We want this one. There we go. All right. So now if this is false, so int greater than or equal to, again, make sure we get this on the right one. I'm going to do a branch. And then if true, get child at and then return value is valid. Again, we can bring these in a bit more. So, another branch. And true. Then on this branch, we want to do set render opacity on the get child at output. And that's all we have to do. Actually looks a lot cleaner than this does. It's all the same nodes though. Just a lot more compact. Oh, we do need to add that. Just make sure that nothing is like underneath another node or something. This looks a lot more clear that way. Alright, compile that. Well, that won't go away. Or maybe it just wasn't wasn't being undrawn or something. So I think that's all we have to do with that. So update notification. That's done. Fade out is done. On add notification, we are doing the reverse transform. On adding the so is this on the event graph? Yeah. So on the event graph for the main HUD, event construct that is, we need to create a so render transform set render transform. Okay. That's all we have to do there. Now, I don't think we have to do anything on on this. I could run this, so I want to check it. Well, I did put something in to do the tick counting and whatnot. So I guess we can recreate that as well. And we'll modify it a bit, so it isn't just printing 100 every time. So, yeah, that's all we had was this. We weren't calling any new functions. Alright, so let's go to player blueprint. Oh no, we got to the sky mesh. That's not what we want. There we go. So there's the on tick. So we're just gonna do this real quick. Gonna have some errors because we don't have some of these values in here. So we need to add tick counter. Of course, that's not going to be the right reference. So variable tick counter. And we're going to create a new variable called tick counter string. And because I don't want to do anything too complicated, we're going to add another, we'll say number of ticks. This will be another int. I can get the right friggin' thing here. Alright, so what we're going to do now. So we're going to start a notification. We need to bring in the main HUD ref. Set notification text. So here's what's going to happen with this. So we're going to use tick counter, and we're going to do this. We're also going to set. We're going to do another set on number of ticks. I think we can pull this off both ways, yeah. So we're going to set this, both of these, but this one we're going to reset once it reaches 100. This one's just going to have all the ticks in it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this one, cast it to a string, and then use that for the message. So, int to string, or rather cast to string, or maybe not. Let me go grab this. Actually, it should just do it automatically. If we throw this in and then tie it to this, it should automatically create the cast. Yeah, there we go. And then we need to call add notification. Alright, so let's see what this looks like. $101. Oh, it says 101. And it's also not removing or hiding. So you probably forgot a step somewhere. Now, oh, because this gets reset every time too. Damn. So let's reverse this. So what we'll do now is that instead of setting tick counter, actually this should be a greater than or equal to as well. So we'll change that as well. Int greater. Okay, then we need to bring in number of ticks, which we already have, or we have get the set there. We have the get over here. So what we need to do now is a little bit different. So this is always going to be over 100 ticks. So what we want to do is we just want to add 1 to this every time we go through it. And we're going to do that at the beginning. Then we're going to go to here. Then we're going to say that if this is greater than or equal to 100, well, we don't want to do that either. I think we need our own, we need to call this in and do our own increment on it. So false, we're just going to do nothing until it is. Once true, we set it to 0, then we call this. And that should... Oh, crap. Interesting. So we're only getting half of the... messages. Which is probably fine, because so we're going to 100, resetting it, then going to 100 again. One thing I'm noticing as well is that the messages are not displaying in reverse order. It should show, the 200 should be, yeah, it should be on the top, not on the bottom. Instead, it's just ordering the list in reverse order. Well, not reverse, but in 180 degree order instead of reverse order as well. So we need to go check that out. Alright, so let's go over to our main HUD. So, add notification. Of course. Okay, then update notification box. Oh, no, wait. No, never mind. That was right. Duh. Thought we were in a different spot. Add notification, update notification box. So we're passing through notification array to the function. Clearing reverse notification array. Oh, we don't need to do reverse for loop because we've already reversed it. So we're unreversing the reverse, basically. That's part of the problem. Target self. How come that's down here? Oh, it's on the complete. So that's something we didn't do before. We didn't do the on complete. That might be what's going on. Well, we've got some, we don't have others. That's kind of interesting. It's displaying in the right order this time, though. Oh, there's 600. I just saw it. That's, yeah, just kind of funky looking now. I think it's because we're dealing with the, we need to be doing this instead of incomplete. It does need to be part of the loop. Break. Delete that. Somehow we broke everything on this. Not sure how. We did. And now there's nothing. Because... So the last time this happened, it's because something over here wasn't quite right. Oh, we haven't set the... No, we haven't set these values. I just realized. We haven't set the defaults. So the fade out should be 3, and the remove index should be 5. Which might be why we're seeing that other junk happen too. Well, kind of, sort of. They're getting removed instead of faded out at 3, so we got another issue here with our logic. Remove index is 5. If the array index is greater than or equal to false, should be true. It should be doing this instead. It's removing them. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. Let me just take this down to here for a second. Let's see what it does. Ah, it's still removing them. That is very odd. I did compile it. So the last time this happened, this particular thing, so remember last time, a couple streams ago, something wasn't working like the way it should, and I changed a bunch of stuff, and it turned out we just had to reload the editor because for some reason the hot reload broke, and then it stopped updating the actual stuff. So I close this. We'll close this one too, so we don't need it anymore. Close this. And we can reopen the tech demo. Didn't mean for the stream to take this long, but we got issues we had to fix, so okay, now let's see what happens. No, it's still removing them instead of what it's supposed to be doing. Why you remove? You should not remove. So add notification. Adding it, transforming it, adding it, update notification. We're not removing anything here, we're just adding it to this array. Then we are clearing the children on this. Well, I guess we are clearing the children on this one, but that's not an issue. Because they should all be in this. So, passing this through, looping, reversing, clearing, adding to this after requesting notification, clearing children on this, for each looping this, adding child to this, then calling process existing notifications. So we are looping this. Oh. No. Yeah, we don't need that. So what we're doing is we're calling getChildAtIndex. Let me go check that just to be sure. I don't think we pulled that off anywhere on this one. Oh, no, it is working. It's working. I just saw it. Our render opacity is 0. So technically we were removing it by not removing. Alright, there we go. Now it should correctly show them before removing them. Yeah, there we go. Then it'll remove them starting now. Or, well, it would have, but we took out the pin for that. Let's add that back in. Alright, and there you go. There's our notification system. So what we can do now is whenever we're doing something we want to check out what's going on, instead of like doing a break or doing a breakpoint or like printing it out to some window somewhere, we can just send the message to this. So like on like when we're creating the database. So like I'll show you what I mean. So for now we're going to go ahead and remove onTick because we're not going to use that anymore. So notification, I'm going to go to the player blueprint. So we can remove all this nonsense. Also get rid of our tick counters. So let's say that we are doing the HUD thing, right? The HUD thing. And we have this variable that we have that's called that we've bound up here called dbHandler_conOutput. Well, instead of doing that, we can actually just get rid of this, period. And what we can do is on update, or rather on the connection to the database, which we do in here, I think. Oh no, I think it's is it the construction scripts? It shouldn't be. I thought it was over here, but maybe it's not. Or no, right, that's all self-contained now in inventory. So if we want to send a message, so if, okay, so well, we do have a, well, we can do it this way for now. It's going to be a little bit messy, but let's see if we can do this really quick. So let's go to the inventory real fast. Alright. So then inventory CPP. So set up database handler, which will do the connection and everything. So once that's done, we're going to say db message equals and then what we'll do is add alright. So just really quick, let me go rebuild this. Then what we'll do is when we get to each of these stages when we're creating the inventory, we'll pull that value out and send it to the UI to create a notification widget out of it. So create inventory, and then what we're going to do is once we do that, we're just going to do a get db message, and we're going to call go away SCP toolkit, and notification, or rather no, yeah, add notification, and then crap. That was right. So we do that first. Create widget type notification. Return value set notification text. Then we call update notification box, and then we set this back up to here. Or at least that was supposed to work. But so essentially that was what we'll do is something like similar to this. Not sure. Let me put a breakpoint right here real fast, and we'll do a oh, we're on the wrong node. There you go, connected to database. So that's how we can use it like that. Of course, it'll have to be a little bit more, we'll have to go through and figure out a way to do this a little more efficiently, but there you go. There's an inventory, or a notification system for you that you don't have to spend money on. There are some on the marketplace, but the one that I found, there's probably more than one, but the one I found has it's like a pop-up button kind of things that show up along the screen. This is more similar to what you might find in an MMO or some kind of game like that. So, thanks for checking out the stream if you watched it live. If you're watching it afterwards on YouTube, feel free to leave any comments or questions below. And I will see you probably, let's see what's the next time I'm streaming. I think it's on Tuesday. Well, tomorrow. Okay. At 7:30, I suppose. So for that, figure out what we're going to do for that stream. It'll probably be related to OV, though. We'll probably do some more work in UE4 here. What would be the next thing to work on? There's my handy-dandy roadmap here. So, done? Well, not done. We need to add in mining lasers. So SQ3, SQLite integration done. Context menu. Okay, maybe the context menu is something we can work on. Targeting system, still have to work on that. Ship fitting, still have to work on that. Inventory window is done. Item-based cargo is done-ish. So I'll do these. I'll put these as a strike through. So now they're kind of done-ish. So that's done. This is done. And all this other stuff to go. Lots of other things to go. Actually, on this, we can say that this is done. Yeah, but we still got a lot of work to do. Okay, so probably tomorrow we'll probably work on the context menu, I think, which would essentially be like being able to right-click on an actor and then, based on what that actor is, giving options. Like, for example, if it's an asteroid actor mesh object, give the ability to say, click on a button that says target, and then it would activate the targeting system to create a target lock on it, so that you can mine it. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Alright, so I will see you later, and again, the videos for Chrono Cross will be uploaded tomorrow. I'll be doing a bunch of recording tonight for it. That's why I'm not going to be doing the streaming tonight. Plan to get as far as possible on it, and if I end up finishing it, then that'll be good. Just to kind of refresh everyone, once I finish Chrono Cross, I'm going to take a however long break it takes to catch up the review series to where we're at on this, which is going to take a while because I've only done one review for one game. And that was the first game I did, which was Mass Effect back in 2010. And I still have to catch up everything else on the review series. So that's 49 games? I think it's 50. I think I'm up to 51 instead of 50. So I think there's 50 reviews I have to do now. So that's going to take a little bit of time, mainly because a lot of the stuff either I have to harvest the footage from YouTube or re-record sections for it. Yeah, try and make sure we don't have another 2 more 2-hour reviews, though. That was kind of insane. I went a little bit too in-depth on that one. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening in the near future. I will still do streaming and other things, though, so it's not like we're going to stop. I'm not going to stop uploading things or streaming things once that's done. Once we're at that point, but won't be any more walkthroughs for a while. Alright, so I will see you again tomorrow at 7:30, and we'll see what we can do about this context menu. I have kind of looked into a little bit about it, but I'll need to do some more researching and maybe try a few things in the sandbox to get prepared for adding it to this. so it doesn't take quite as long. As long as it took us to get this working, it actually took me about 4.5 hours to put it in originally, just because I had to go through and look up so much stuff and figure out how to do things. So yeah, it's pretty good to do it in about an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 25 minutes or so, when it took me 4 hours before. If you want me to create a project that has this thing in it so you can use it in your own project, let me know, and either let me know on Twitch or send me a message or something on YouTube or comments or something, and I'll work something up, code up something, and build something up, and I can put it on Mediafire or something for you. So that's going to be it for this stream.